fight at. Malik Scott feels like Conor Benn has a style to give anyone a problem. I would debate him like, okay, Ryan Garcia just had a big win against Barrios.
Battlefield will have a puncher. He's very explosive, dangerous hook, very dangerous. Everybody know that hook gonna knock Buffalo out. It's just the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah.
He probably threw a hook more like 90.
Yeah.
He got that one punch shot on that left hook. Deadly. And then he understands how to throw it. Yeah.
Ryan's the bigger star, obviously. You see social media following and all that, but in today's boxing landscape, Max, I think you can't have a so-called super fight without.
Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn is quickly becoming one of those rare fights that splits opinions across the entire boxing world. Every time the matchup is discussed, a different prediction seems to emerge. Some fighters and analysts believe Ryan Garcia's elite hand speed, sharp timing, and devastating left hook would simply be too much for Benn to handle. Others argue that Conor Benn's relentless pressure, aggression, and willingness to force exchanges could make life extremely difficult for Garcia. That contrast in styles is exactly why so many people are interested in the fight. Neither fighter wins in the same way, and both possess qualities that could completely change the outcome in a single moment. As more boxing figures continue to weigh in, the debate only becomes more intense.
Even Ben, Ryan Garcia seems like it's going to be announced. What do you make of that fight? Is there any sort of thing going on in the background with yourselves and Conor Benn?
Yeah, there's still a lot of legal questions that need answering, and we'll deal with that appropriately. But in terms of that fight, I think it's a good fight. I don't think it's a big fight in America. I think it's a big fight in the UK. Obviously, Ryan's a big star in America. Conor's not. Ryan's a bigger star in the UK than Conor is in America, and Conor's a big star in the UK. So, yeah, I don't think it's a fight that's going to do massive numbers, but I like the fight. I think it's exciting. I think at 147, Ryan's a big fight. I don't think Conor should be fighting at 147. I think, I like him up at 160 or up towards that.
Eddie Hearn has stepped forward to give his thoughts on what could happen if these two explosive fighters finally meet inside the ring. Eddie Hearn's comments highlighted something many fans overlook when discussing this potential showdown. The fight carries very different levels of importance depending on which side of the Atlantic you are watching from. In the United States, Ryan Garcia is unquestionably the bigger star. His social media presence, viral moments, massive fanbase, and highlight reel knockouts have made him one of the most recognizable names in boxing. However, in the United Kingdom, Conor Benn brings his own kind of star power. British fans have followed his rise closely, and the Benn family name still carries enormous respect due to his father Nigel Benn's legendary career. That is why Hearn believes the fight may generate different levels of excitement in different markets while still having the potential to become a huge event overall. The clash of personalities and fighting styles makes it easy to sell. Garcia brings speed and explosive counter-punching, while Benn brings pressure, aggression, and non-stop intensity. Those ingredients alone are enough to capture attention on both sides of the ocean. Roy Jones Jr. also understands why Ryan Garcia represents such a dangerous challenge for someone like Conor Benn. According to Roy, Ryan is the type of fighter who can completely change a fight with one punch.
Big fighter. He got great eyesight. He has great reaction time. He's gonna be a great fighter. He's got to figure out how to use them.
Against many opponents, Benn's pressure style is highly effective because he forces fighters backward and overwhelms them with aggression. However, Roy pointed out that constantly moving forward against a puncher like Garcia comes with serious risks. Garcia does not need multiple opportunities to hurt someone. He only needs one clean opening. If Benn becomes too aggressive or reckless while trying to close the distance, he could find himself walking directly into the exact counterpunch Garcia has been waiting to throw. Regis Prograis offered another perspective on the matchup, and his comments were not particularly flattering toward Conor Benn. While he
played it, but I came back to the corner in like the first or second round. I said, he's not that good. I said, man, he's not that good. He don't hit that hard either. He's not this monster everybody talking about. He does hit hard, don't get me wrong. But he was like, I said, bro, he's not that good. He doesn't hit that hard. This guy is, I got it. I feel like, man, I got it. I probably could have stepped off the pace, but at that time, bro, like I said, it was the first or second round. I was like, yeah.
He acknowledged Benn's popularity and growing profile. Prograis questioned whether Benn has truly proven himself against elite-level competition. In his view, Benn's reputation may currently be larger than the accomplishments on his resume. It is a harsh assessment, but it reflects a criticism that Benn has faced for years. Many observers believe he still needs a signature victory against a top-level opponent before he can be fully accepted among boxing's elite names. That is why a fight against Ryan Garcia would mean so much. It would provide Benn with the opportunity to silence critics and demonstrate that he belongs in conversations involving some of the biggest stars in the sport. At the same time, the risk is enormous. If he performs poorly or suffers a decisive defeat, the criticism surrounding his career could become even louder. For Benn, this fight represents more than just another payday. It is an opportunity.
Hard to be the man that's possessed. It really is. You know, it feel like Conor Benn is possessed. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I look at him in his eyes, and you don't gotta be that. You don't gotta be that good, bro. You don't have to have that much skill when you possessed on something. You really want something you possessed on. You don't have to have that much skill. So I think Ryan does have better skill. Ryan is fast, big hook and stuff like that. But Conor has power. You know, and power can change everything, bro. You know, when you got power, one punch can change everything. So I think it'll be a very interesting fight. Like I said, I think that skill-wise, of course, I lean more towards Ryan. But Conor's hungry. You know, it's hard to beat somebody that's hungry, that wants to be a champion. It's hard to beat him, bro. And it'll be, if they do make that fight happen, it'll be very interesting to see what'll happen with it. If I had to pick, I would think somebody would get stopped. I think it's, of course, in boxing it's possible, but I would think somebody would get stopped in that fight because both of them. I mean, Conor can punch. Ryan is fast. He can punch also. I think it could go distance, but I think if I had to pick, I think it gets stopped. You know, Ryan is fast. He has a real good check hook. He's fast with that, but Conor has a lot of power.
Opportunity to prove that his reputation is based on ability rather than hype. Despite those concerns, Prograis also made it clear that Ryan Garcia cannot afford to underestimate Conor Benn. According to Regis, Benn may not possess Garcia's natural speed or technical polish, but he makes up for it with determination, aggression, and genuine punching power. Benn fights with the mentality of someone constantly trying to prove a point, and that hunger can make a fighter extremely dangerous. Fighters who enter the ring with something to prove often become unpredictable because they are willing to take risks others might avoid. Regis still views Garcia as the more complete boxer because of his speed, timing, and ability to land fight-changing punches from unexpected angles.
Position and philosophy is that any fight can be made. I mean, this is the business that we're in. I mean, even the guys that are bitching and crying and complaining and everything else, they run a business. They're involved in this sport to make money, and there are very small windows of opportunity. And when something happens that builds a fight, you have to capture that fight right there at the time and in the moment. So I don't believe that any deals can't get done.
However, he also believes Benn's pressure and powerful right hand could alter the course of the fight instantly if they connect cleanly. That is why Prograis does not see this as a technical boxing match that goes 12 rounds without drama. He sees two explosive punchers sharing the ring, and when that happens, there is always a strong possibility that somebody gets hurt before the final bell. When Dana White was asked about the possibility of Ryan Garcia facing Conor Benn, his response immediately fueled even more speculation. Rather than dismissing the idea, Dana suggested that discussions are taking place and hinted that an official announcement could eventually happen. That kind of statement carries weight because it transforms the fight from an internet fantasy into a realistic possibility. The appeal is obvious. Ryan Garcia brings worldwide recognition, championship ambitions, and knockout power.
Conor Benn is being overlooked or overhyped?
Probably a little bit. I mean,
I haven't really heard anyone hype him.
well, the thing is that
Except Zupa, Payne,
Yeah,
and all that.
well, that's enough.
That's overhyped.
That's hype.
Yeah.
So I mean, and don't get me wrong, but I mean he has. It's not necessarily his name; it's his dad's name.
Right. Nigel Benn.
That's actually, putting him in these situations. So I mean, he hasn't really done all.
Aggression, intensity, and a fighting style that almost guarantees action. Together, they create the type of matchup that appeals to both hardcore boxing fans and casual viewers. If the fight becomes official, it could quickly develop into one of the most talked about events in the sport because the personalities, styles, and storylines already seem perfectly designed for drama. Jeff Mayweather provided one of the more balanced opinions regarding Conor Benn's current standing in boxing. According to Jeff, Ben finds himself in a unique position where he may simultaneously receive too much attention and not enough respect. He does not believe Ben has fully established himself at the highest level of competition, but he also recognizes that many critics dismiss him too quickly. Jeff pointed out that part of Ben's popularity comes from his famous surname.
Ben against Ryan Garcia if he beats Barrios.
You know, I almost feel like I'm more confident Conor chinning Ryan, but I'm not so confident.
Nigel Benn remains one of the most respected names in British boxing history, and that legacy naturally opens doors for Conor. However, Jeff believes there is still a difference between benefiting from a famous name and proving yourself inside the ring. That is why he feels Ben remains one of the most debated fighters in the sport. Some people see a future star, while others see a fighter who still has significant questions to answer. Gareth A. Davies and Ade Oladipo approached the potential fight from a completely different angle. While they acknowledged the excitement surrounding Garcia versus Ben, they emphasized that Ryan still has important business to handle first. Before
Conor Benn, I don't believe in his skill set. I don't believe him as a fighter. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not like against him in no type of way, but he hasn't won me over as a fan, as a believer in him, as being somebody in boxing.
What's your thoughts on him, fighting for the WBC title against Ryan Garcia next?
I mean, well, they pushed him up to #1, so it's politics and money, pressing the #1. I don't think this win warranted a shot at the championship, but Ryan Garcia is coming off a loss and got a shot at the championship. So boxing is a shaky game. I guess if you can quote unquote do numbers or have the right political connections, anything is happening. But I'll favor Ryan Garcia.
If any future plans become reality, Garcia must successfully navigate his own challenges, including difficult opponents standing in his path. Both analysts suggested that Ben could create serious problems for Garcia because of the pressure and physical intensity he brings into every fight. In fact, they sounded surprisingly confident about Ben's chances if the matchup eventually happens. Their comments highlight just how unpredictable boxing can be. Fans may already be discussing Garcia versus Ben, but future fights are never guaranteed. One unexpected result could completely change the direction of everything. Bernie the Boxer also weighed in on the possibility of Conor Benn receiving a title opportunity against Ryan Garcia. In Bernie's view, the situation says a lot about how boxing often operates behind the scenes.
People think that Conor has been wonderfully matched, marvelously matched, made enormous amounts of money, which no one begrudges people making money, but it's been wonderfully matched to achieve that. Ryan Garcia, whatever we may or may not think about his performance against Tank Davis, is at a level that could possibly expose Conor Benn to what people think is that he's not at this level. What's your view on that? Do you think he gets exposed in this fight, Conor?
Listen, Conor is my pal, so I'm not going to sit here and try to mess up his name and that. This is a good fight for him. He's always wanted a big fight. Now he's getting it on Mexico Independence Day.
He questioned whether Ben's recent performances alone justify such a major opportunity, while also acknowledging that Ryan himself continues to receive significant opportunities despite setbacks in his own career. According to Bernie, boxing is often influenced by more than just rankings and achievements. Marketability, fan interest, financial potential, and promotional relationships all play major roles in determining who receives big opportunities. While some fans may dislike that reality, Bernie believes it has always been part of the business. Even so, when forced to make a prediction, he ultimately leaned toward Ryan Garcia because of his speed, power, and ability to finish fights suddenly. Derek Chisora and Simon Jordan also discussed the matchup and focused heavily on what it would reveal about Conor Benn's true level.
Ryan, Ryan just like a wild card. He definitely got, when he had his best, I definitely see him beating Conor Benn. But like I say, I'd rather definitely fight one of them.
When you said that, you think that Ryan beats him, what do you see? Like, why do you feel that way?
I just think dude will probably run into something. Yeah, I think he'd run into something. He's tough. He gonna bring it. But Conor Benn is a good opponent for him or Def because he gonna bring it. He gonna come to fight. He got some heart, so he gonna come to fight. He ain't gonna just let you get it the easy way. But I mean, we definitely, definitely destroy him.
Yeah. So you're thinking that Ryan Garcia would knock out Ben?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. Yeah.
Is it a big fight? Conor Benn and him. There's rumors saying that it could be on Netflix.
Simon argued that Ben has built a successful career and generated significant attention, but he questioned whether Ben has consistently faced opponents capable of preparing him for someone like Ryan Garcia. Garcia operates on a different level when it comes to exposure, experience, and big fight pressure. He has competed under brighter lights, faced greater expectations, and carried the burden of being a global star. According to Simon, the fight would answer a critical question: is Conor Benn ready to compete against that level of opponent, or would the gap between him and boxing's biggest names finally become obvious? As Mickey Bay also believes Ryan Garcia presents serious problems for Conor Benn.
One of the big reasons this fight's happening is because things are personal. And one of the reasons Ryan said he wanted to fight Conor was because he pulled up on him at one of the Ring Awards shows or something like that a couple of months ago, and things did get a little physical. Yeah, Conor's a hothead, man, and he walked up on Ryan, and I guess because Ryan put his arm around him, but Ryan wasn't trying to be physical. Ryan was just, talking to him like, and then Conor said, that left hook won't work on me.
Reasoning is straightforward. Garcia's greatest strengths are his speed, timing, and ability to punish fighters who move forward aggressively. Since Benn's style revolves around pressure and constant forward movement, there is always the danger of walking directly into one of Garcia's counters. Bay still praised Benn for his toughness, determination, and willingness to engage, but he admitted that he could easily envision a knockout victory for Garcia if the right punch lands. At the same time, he emphasized that the fight remains extremely competitive because Benn's pressure could create opportunities of his own. That balance of danger is exactly why the matchup continues to generate so much discussion.
I initially thought, I don't rate Conor Benn as a championship level fighter, but I do think that Conor Benn himself is decent, can challenge for titles, can be in the conversation for these kind of fights. But he's probably a little bit subpar as far as mentioning him in a world championship level type of.
Wade pointed out that the rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn goes beyond rankings, titles, and financial opportunities. According to him, there is a genuine personal element involved. Garcia has previously spoken about an interaction between the two fighters that quickly became tense after what appeared to be a friendly exchange. The situation escalated when Benn suggested that Garcia's famous left hook would not be effective against him. While the comment may have been intended as a show of confidence, it immediately grabbed attention because the left hook is arguably the most dangerous weapon in Garcia's arsenal. Wade believes dismissing that punch could ultimately provide Ryan with extra motivation.
Performance did not help his case at all. So this is why he's going directly talking about Ryan Garcia, calling him out. And of course, Ryan is going to be like, yeah, of course, big money fight. And we had some reactions from fighters who were paying attention that night. They took to Twitter immediately. Jack Catterall, hands are looking through his fingers with an emoji. Josh Kelly saying, wow, same kind of situation. Ryan Garcia calling him Conor bum. Devin Haney saying Conor Benn, stay away.
That's what I'm saying. We're putting this guy into the conversation with these guys. That's why they're aggravated and they're annoyed.
Well, it's because he calls everybody out. So
we're mixing this guy into the conversation he doesn't belong in. These are all guys. All the names you just mentioned, they're all in one conversation. They're all in one room. Conor Benn just gets to join that room because of his fame. He's not of that level. He doesn't even belong there. So of course they're laughing at him and they're going to critique him and all.
Players often remember comments like that, and if the matchup happens, Garcia may enter the ring determined to prove exactly how dangerous that left hook really is. Paulie Malignaggi offered a more cautious assessment of Conor Benn's position within the sport. He was careful not to dismiss Benn's abilities entirely. In fact, Paulie acknowledged that Benn is talented, exciting, and capable of competing in major fights. However, he questioned whether Benn has truly proven himself as a genuine world-level fighter capable of defeating elite opposition. That distinction is important because there is a difference between being a good fighter and being one of the very best fighters in the world. According to Pauly, Benn has shown enough talent to remain part of important conversations, but questions remain about whether he can consistently perform against the highest level of competition. A fight against Ryan...
Is that even possible? Well, absolutely it's possible, but you think about this, like, he's fighting for the Zuffa belt. So, and Ryan Garcia's fighting for all the belts. He's fighting for the WBC, WBA, IBF. Like, Conor Benn's with the Zuffa belt, you know, the unicorn pink Zuffa belt. So, who knows if
Garcia would force those questions to be answered once and for all. Pauly also argued that Benn's recent performances have not necessarily strengthened his position among critics. Instead, some observers have become even more skeptical about whether he deserves to be mentioned alongside boxing's biggest names. That skepticism is one reason why a Garcia fight makes so much sense. It offers Benn the chance to earn the respect that many people believe he still lacks. According to Pauly, several fighters have already reacted publicly to Benn's rise, and not all of those reactions have been positive. Some have questioned his resume, while others believe his popularity has grown faster than his accomplishments. For Benn, defeating a fighter like Ryan Garcia would instantly change those conversations and provide the type of statement victory that critics could no longer ignore. Oscar de la Hoya also expressed confidence in Ryan Garcia's chances should the fight become reality. From Oscar's perspective, Garcia has already operated at a higher level throughout his career. He has competed in major events, fought under enormous pressure, and consistently found himself involved in some of boxing's biggest storylines. Oscar believes that experience matters. Fighters who regularly compete in high-pressure situations often develop confidence and composure that cannot be taught. Because of that, he feels Garcia would enter the matchup with important advantages. While he respects Benn's determination and aggression, Oscar sees Ryan as the fighter with more experience dealing with elite-level expectations and spotlight. The growing tension between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn has only made the fight more attractive. What started as normal promotional talk has gradually become more personal, with both men exchanging verbal shots through interviews and social media. Ryan recently mocked Benn by questioning his ability to stop certain opponents and suggested that Benn's confidence exceeds his accomplishments. Benn responded aggressively, promising that he would punish Garcia if they ever met inside the ring. As the exchanges continued, neither fighter seemed interested in backing down. Every new comment added another layer to the rivalry and gave fans another reason to become invested in the matchup. The styles already make the fight exciting, but the personal tension makes it even more compelling. If Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn eventually step into the same ring, they will not only be fighting for victory. They will be fighting to prove a point, settle a rivalry, and silence the growing number of critics watching from the sidelines.